in UPND, I will join them. So is NDC. So is all other people. I believe in certain things that I don't see in these other parties. And that's what makes me to be here and stand and say, nizai segula doneka na kungena.
Now, how intact is Narep after you took over the reins of power? I know when there's a change of leadership, some people who were loyal to the previous administration decide to leave or just to step aside from the party. Have you maintained the general membership of Narep, which was attracted by the leadership of Elash Pimo Jr.?
Yes, I have been a president of Narep for perhaps 8 months now. And believe you me, Caesar, even those people who had grounded their tools, they are back. They are back with us. In any organization, people have got different thinking. And that is what is good. And that's what makes development. If you've got people thinking differently, you harmonize that. Put it together, listen to each and every person. And whatever that person is saying, put it together and make a best product from it. And I can it tells for itself. I don't need to blow my own trumpet. It tells itself that Narep has gone far much higher than where we were when I took over.
But at some point, information reached Pan-African Radio that President Steve Nyrenda is discarding those members that were faithful to your predecessor. How true is that?
No, a member can only discard himself. No one can discard, because mine is to unify everybody. And everybody is very, very important in leadership. There are, Caesar, change is very, very difficult to maintain. People are mostly very comfortable in their seats. When you want to change them and put them even in a higher seat, first of all, change comes with pain. Change comes with sacrifice. Change comes with lots of prices to pay. So there are people who may not like it. I haven't heard, but it's not everything that I hear. I haven't heard what you are talking about. We cannot discard any member. Any member is very important. He's not just a member, he's a voter. He is the person who is going to cast. So everybody in our party, whether you have got different opinion to that the new leadership has or not, we embrace you, we want to listen to you, we want to take part of your ideas and put them inside. We will take the good and discard what is not good. So should the best leadership be.
Have you rescinded your decision as Narep not to participate in by-elections?
No.
Before the 2021?
No, we don't.
Lukasha and Mwansabombo by-elections are forthcoming. Are you participating?
Yes, we will.
Who are your candidates?
Or candidates there? Mufuna Ulule Pano. You know the problem that is there. The problem that is there, I cannot now go to say, oh, our candidate is this and this and this and this. I can't now, because it's part and parcel of our strategy.
Or perhaps do you have candidates already?
Yes, we do.
You did the adoptions?
Well, the adoption is going to be done when the ECZ does announce the date. Then you will see that person being registered.
But when you say you already have candidates, so
yes, we do. We have the councillors and we have our candidates that are preferred. We have them.
Right, I'm talking to President Steve Nyrenda of the National Restoration Party in Narep. You'll be participating later on the program by coming through our direct studio lines 0950650916 as well as 0974760894. Now, President Nyrenda, we move on now. I want your observation regarding the manner in which governance is being handled in Zambia by the Patriotic Front as well as you, the stakeholders.
Yeah. In the governance, there are so many items that you can look
But
at.
we learn to look at it generally.
Generally.
Yes.
Well, generally, that's why you have seen the mushrooming of all these political parties. There are over 50 political parties. The mushrooming of these parties is because the governance system is not up to date. Where we are right up now, we are suffering because there's no proper leadership in this country. There is a problem. But, you cannot talk it so general. You cannot generalize the way. There must be specific areas that we touch. We would touch the economy. They would touch the when we are talking about economy already, you are talking about job creation and so on and so on. There are so many. How have they handled the agriculture? How have handled the mining and so on and so on. These are some of the things that lead us to that bring us to the economy. So if I'm going to here now to say, look, I talk about the general thing, I may talk about the things that perhaps people will say, what is he talking about? I want us to be very specific. We can't be specific. Let's talk about the leadership. As I say every time, the leadership I characterize.
But you're at liberty to talk about anything you feel.
You want me to talk about
yes,
anything?
You want to talk about, because the question is open. You can
Okay.
discuss anything regarding governance.
Yes. The biggest problem that we are having today is that people have got no jobs. And since most of the things that we are getting into this country, they are imported. That means the jobs of the people have been taken away. Now, you will see on the street, the youth who are the majority of the people, they are roaming around the streets. They are being used as fighting tools and so on and so on. Now, when I talk about joblessness, let me now just embark on joblessness. Jobs get created. In that word that I say created, there's that word creation. People must sit down and create jobs. You cannot say Tiripenchito, you keep on crying. No. So what are we going to do ourselves? First of all, we are going to put lots of institutions of guidance, institutions that are going to give skills, guidance, and education. That means we will create elite schools, starting from grade 1, elite schools up to the university. Then we will change the educational system. The education system that we have now is not tailored for a Zambian. It's an education system that is tailored perhaps for white-collar people, for the Europeans and things like that. When you drop off in grade 8, you are gone. You will not get anything to live on. When you drop off in grade 12, if you haven't gone to school, it's worse. What we are going to bring ourselves on the table is to make sure that the school system, by the time that you reach 13, we start training you how you can live from your environment. So even if you drop, you are able to live from your environment, create jobs, and so on and so on. There is a story that I like telling to my friends. I have got 3 friends who are millionaires. And these people, not in Zambia, but outside Zambia, these people, they have never attended grade 12. Grade 8 is enough. But the system, the schooling system, is in such a way that people are able to make their living from the environment where they live. This is the biggest problem that we have here. You go to school to learn 1 + 1, 2 + 2, speak English. If you can't speak proper English, you can't add, you can't do mathematics, you are gone. The end is that you start taking a wheelbarrow on the street. And people are running from their districts, coming to Lusaka, thinking there are jobs in Lusaka. No. Ourselves, we will start with changing the schooling system. That the schooling system is in such a way that once you drop out, you are able to live. We will make sure that we make creative institutions. Now, I said, the other thing that we are going to do, the Ministry of Religious, no blasphemy, no excuses, no anything. The Ministry of Religious is just a waste of money. That ministry will change it to creative ministry, where actually young people will go create things, create products, create all different, put in all different ideas. And these ideas are going to culminate at the end of the day into factories, Zambian factories, which will manufacture goods within this country.
On your talking about the Ministry of Religious Affairs and National Guidance.
Yes.
Are you going to have it around? Or
we will scrap it off immediately. What guidance, when you see what is happening with the corruption,
but I was
seeing.
Thinking, anyone who's a Christian would love that ministry to be.
No, everybody who is a Christian has got a church where you go to, and in that church there are church elders. There's everybody else. You get guidance from there. You get counseled from there. What is guidance? Minister of religious. It is just a drain. It's taking wealthy. It's a job creation for certain people, because certain people were singing for Christian, for blah, 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 blah. Therefore, let's do this so that we can give these people employment. That is out.
What is the composition of your shadow cabinet?
Our composition of shadow government, it includes all this, talk about security, talk about health, talk about education, talk about agriculture, talk about mining. Though we can go on and on.
Like, if you just give us a number, how many ministers will be in your cabinet?
Well, the ministers is the way it is right up now, but of course we'll reshuffle. We will, first of all, it is wrong for us to, and mark this, I do not want to go into the government and change things from black to white. No. And this has been the problem why we are there where we are. When you go in, whatever these people were doing or whatever PF is doing, they are also doing it for the betterment of Zambia. But perhaps they are not doing it in the right way. Start from there. Find out what are the good things they have done, what are the bad things that they have done. And then from there, go into the gray area until you are on the positive side. I will put an example, for example. The PF government has built a lot of schools. Yeah? MMD, PF government, they have built a lot of schools. That's a good thing. I should not come in and say, leave all those schools and start something else. But what is the problem with those schools? There are no teachers. Why don't they have teachers? Because they don't have money to employ the teachers. So try to sort the problem from where it is than for me to come. And we have seen governments, and it's a tendency in Zambia, when a new government goes in, it stops everything that the others have been doing. Those things that they have done is people's money. Respect it. Start from there. I'll give you an example that icks me so much. Acacia Place. That Acacia Place, President Chiluba, let his soul rest in peace, started building the university there. Fantastic. Now, governments change. They just close that thing. I don't want to talk about that government. You know it. Is somebody you say he's got the left, blah, 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 and so on. He's also not living.
The Frederick Chiluba Institute of Industrial Relations?
Yes, and politics and so on. It is something which was good. Now, whether President Chiluba used monies from somewhere else or whatever, that thing was a positive thing. You come in, you say, no, stop it. Then that thing was off for a long time. You sell it to foreigners and you turn it into something that is a supermarket. That thing is not productive. It's just taking money out of this country. That thing, such developments will not do. What people should have done with that institution was to take it from there, build it, finish it. It would have produced think tanks for this country, for political people, public relations, and so on and so on. Now, you see, now they have gone even further to start attacking the university land to transform it into something that is not productive for this country. That is what we call visionless. No visionary leadership. So when we go in ourselves, we will dissect, we will spend time, and in fact, We are not going to tell President Lungu to say you are irrelevant from today onwards. We will let President Lungu work with us for perhaps a couple of months to make sure that he tells us what he has been doing and why he has been doing what he's doing. And we take it from there. This is a problem that, Caesar, honestly, even in this studio, if they have to fire you today, they will give you some days to hand over, right? It's not happening in our leadership in this country. When a new government comes over, it's overnight. They don't even want to see that president who was yesterday there. It is wrong. Let these people hand over nicely. Then you take it from there. That's why even the corruption is too high, because people are afraid. That's why even people are saying, no, some of the people, they will not hand over the power because they are afraid that once there's a change of government, there's even vandalism. You vindict the people that are there. You make those people as if they are, monga mfwiti. Mwaipeza mfwiti, ijueni mkosi, olo itaeni huko. No, that's not what it is. This is how we are looking at things.
So, politics of retribution, can they end here in this country? We have seen that.
We will end them. We will end them. My aim of providing leadership is not to go there and start fighting people. Whether these people stole or they did not store, whether I've got proof or no proof, there is a way to deal with it. You cannot fight wrong with wrong. When we go in ourselves, we will take proper measures to make sure that those things don't continue. And those people that where we have evidence they are taken to book, mine is not to go there to vindict the leadership that is there today. These guys who are there today, there is something that they are trying, but they are doing it in a wrong way. They are doing it in a wrong way. We are seeing that the suffering that we are having today is because they are doing it in a wrong way. Perhaps they don't have knowledge. We are saying our knowledge is perhaps above them. We are looking at things above them. We will create jobs in this country and we will make every district self-reliant. The youth of Mongu, the youth of Livingstone, the youth of Mansa should not be coming to Lusaka to look for jobs. We will create jobs in their corridors there. Then most of these people that you are seeing here, they will go back. These streets are going to be empty.
But it's not the first time, Zambians are listening to such promises. Politicians tend to be very flowery when they're making campaign promises because they want, obviously, to attract people. Given the opportunity,
yes,
they forget about their promises. President Nyrenda, are you one person that can remember?
No. The problem is I'm a fresh man. The problem is that we have been choosing the same recycled politicians. And you see it. And the other day I was saying, you have got politicians who jump from one tree to another, one political party to another, like monkeys, jumping from one tree to another. And that's where the problem. And that's what I started with, to say, if I'm going to have an MP, person who wants to stand as a member of parliament, and he's telling me to say, oh, wait, I'm trying to gauge whether to go to Narep or PF or what. That means this guy has no vision. He doesn't know what...
Meaning you have such people in your party who have been positioned themselves in the party?
Yes, I've a lot of people who have approached me, to say, look, they want to stand as an MP of a particular area. But, they are trying to look at whether UPND or whether PF, because their UPND is very popular, because their PF is popular. I say, this guy is visionless. I don't even spend more time to talk to them in my office.
Perhaps they do not have confidence in your leadership.
I don't think so. Then they don't have confidence in PF, then they don't have confidence in UPND, in NDC, and any other party. Because by the time that he opens my door, he says, I want to have an appointment with you, President Nyrenda. I allow him. He comes and sits opposite me and says, me, I'm doing this. I want to be there, but I'm gauging this and this. Why did you come to see me? If you are gauging to say you want to go to these other political parties. But this is what you see. What I'm trying to explain here, Caesar, is not this individual or these individuals. I'm trying to educate the people that they need to have vision and believe in the leadership for this country. Where we are now, it's what you have asked me to say, are you going to change? Because these people, they are already chameleons. They are coming to you. I want to stand. They are chameleons. Tomorrow, they will be approached by this other party. They will go. Because they are looking for their pockets. They are looking at their advantages. Proper leadership will look at issues, will look at the main core value, what they want to change and what they want to provide to the people. And this is why I talk about vision, principle, to be principled, integrity, and the will to sacrifice for the mother Zambia and the people of Zambia.
I was reading one of the headlines in a tabloid this morning, which it stated that when you become rich, if you become rich as a politician, then you have stolen. Now you are going into politics, you have gone into politics and you want to go to State House, whilst already a rich person. I don't think Mr. Nyrenda is a poor man, going by the CV you have and what you have established. We know you as a big business magnate. Are we going to see Steve Nyrenda as president of Zambia becoming very rich from the salary that should be given?
You know, richness is subject to whatever. Some people, me, I look at my goal. What do I want in life? And I have one plate of nshima at lunch and one plate of nshima in the evening. I've got a vehicle that I want to drive. I've got a house that I want. If that is richness, yes, I'm rich. But for me, I will never be rich if I don't know how my grandchild is going to live in this country. If I don't know how my children are going to live, my nieces and so on and so on. And that's my biggest problem. The big problem that I have, Caesar, telling you the truth, I don't even know whether your radio station will exist next month. It's questionable. Because somebody else can just pick a phone and say, Caesar, that radio we are closing. It should not be like that. The platform should be, if you abide to the right things, right rules and laws, you should not worry about your future of your organization. Today in Zambia, a Zambian always has worries of how is he going to wake up tomorrow. Is he going to have food? Is he going to have his company? Is he going to have his money? And things like that. This is a problem. Even a civil servant, when he wakes up, he doesn't know whether he will find his salary. Anything is possible. Whether he can be fired because he doesn't belong to PF. These are the worst things that you can get in Zambia today. And for me, I will never be rich as long as a Zambian cannot dream of his future. As long as the wealth is never in the Zambian hands, the wealth is in the foreigners, in the names of foreigners. Our presidents, our first president leaders, Kaunda, Nkombula, Wantib, and all these guys from all over, there was no tribal, all over, let me mention them. They came together and they wanted to fight for two things, political independence and economical independence. They were chosen in 1964, they were put there. Already when they were sitting there, we were singing there at the showgrounds and so on and so on. We had our political independence from day one. Do we have our economical independence? No way. We don't have it. It has become even worse, where you allow foreigners to come and get your wealth and you are even helping them. The government of today is helping the foreigners to remove all the wealth from the Zambians. And you think that you are running a country like that in a normal way? No. And this is, for me, where richness of Zambians is concerned. Zambians must be rich in millions. Not everybody, but you will have a handful. There may be 1,000. There may be 200,000. But we will have them in these districts. Our government is going to create Zambian millionaires in districts there where they are. That's why today, Caesar, I'm saying I will never be rich unless the Zambians have the wealth in their own country, in their own hands, then I'll consider myself to be rich and happy.
Right, 56 years now, President Nyrenda, after Zambia's juridical independence, a majority of citizens have continued to wallow in abject poverty or living in squalor. As Narep, what do you think is the reason?
It's a leadership. It all starts with the leadership. It ends with the leadership. It's a management. It's leadership is nothing else than a management. I will mention it like that. I say leadership must have vision. Now I will not talk about other things like principle and so on. Vision over economy. The economy, in that economy, there's production of goods and services. Any leader needs to know what that country, that particular country, in this case we're talking about Zambia, they need to know the goods and services that are needed by every Zambian in here. They need to know the distribution of those goods and services to every Zambian. They need to manage the physical governance. That means the monies that are chasing those goods and what the people consume and at what levels. They have agents that they work with in order to make these things happen. Do they control the agents? Most of the agents that they have, which belong to them, they are corrupt. There's corruption like I don't know. So if you are a leader, you are giving your agent to say, I want you to distribute ABCD. Mampasa ujamuntu, and I start mampasa vili 10, I distribute vivili. Ivi vinangu, vaenda koti. And you vakuuza uti ivi vinangu ivi vasova, asovesa ni uyu. Umusi ya muntu, ati no problem. Judicial should deal with them. And the guy where he sits, he has got, all the chances to press buttons, to take the evidence and push it, whatever. So he has no evidence. There's no evidence. By the time you come to court, the evidence has already been sorted out. Because Caesar, you are seated there. If we accuse you to say you have stolen a microphone, we must remove you so that other people can check where is that microphone. If we let you sit there, you will make sure that all the evidence has been tampered with. By the time the judicial comes to you, they will say, and this is what is happening in this country because the willpower to control the agents is not there. The executive has got no control of all the agents they are using. Whether it's the ZCC, MHI, or whatever name they have, whether it's this ministry, whether it's ZESCO, whether it's name it.
Right, just from there, just hold your thought. I know you will continue talking about it. You have mentioned production,
yes,
okay, of goods and services. So we want to understand something about the productive forces of this country. Now, as Narep, how will you address the development of Zambia's productive forces and curb exploitation, looting, and plunder of public resources?
You see, first of all, public resources mostly they are being plundered by civil service. In fact, starting from the political leadership.
Without looking at who is plundering, but how will you address that problem?
Yes. Are you talking about plundering by people from outside, these people from the streets who are jobless, or people who are in office and they are misusing their positions to plunder? Well, there are two different things.
We're talking about the plunder of public resources.
Yes. A plunder of public resources is nothing else other than corruption. That's what we're talking about, right? So, you see, now, if this is what I'm saying, that the executive has got completely no willpower to stop their agents from plundering.
So what is your solution as Narep to that problem?
If I say exactly what we will do, perhaps I would scare people. But in short, let me tell you, we will have...
You are providing checks and balances, so
yes,
you shouldn't hide anything from the people.
Yes, we will have zero tolerance to plunder or corruption. Zero tolerance. By the time that agents like ACC, they tell us to say this guy has been arrested, that guy must be inside. No bail for such things. You don't give him, he must be inside until the courts have cleared him. He cannot stay on his workplace whilst he's been accused and arrested. Mind you, the SEC has got top executive. They have got people who are trained to find out, and they take months, sometimes years, to go after one person.
You are saying that person will be jailed or remanded?
They will be put.
Where is the upholding of the Constitution? Because every citizen has got a constitutional right to be given a bond or bail. So why are you going to amend or repeal the act?
Caesar, simple. When MMD came in, they said anybody who steals a car, there's no bail. Up to today, for car theft, there's no bail. But for people who are stealing medicine, who are stealing food, where people are dying, they are given bail. Is that fair? It's not fair at all. And that's what we are going to do. There will be cases like you steal a car in Bichicha. Perhaps we'll give you a bail. But if you plunder certain things that attach human life, you go in. And we are not saying that you are arrested, you are jailed. No, you will be detained until your case is done with. So there won't be bail for people who plunder the the money of the people, because you are stealing from the poor. That's where the poverty is. And Caesar, I will tell you the truth here. If there is zero tolerance to corruption, you will see how Zambia can go up overnight. More than 50% of the money for development, it ends up in the in the pockets of the people. I have seen it. I've seen it, and I've questioned some of this in my private capacity. I said, how can this happen? It's happening. How can somebody become a minister today? In 6 months' time, he's got a mansion that is costing billions. Where on earth? I work 24/7. I sleep perhaps 3 to 4 hours every day. Every day since I became an adult, since I left the university, I don't sleep at all. I spend more time working, but I cannot build such a house over 6 months. No. It took me to build what I have. It took me how many years? For me to have money that I say, okay, I can go and buy a brand new car in the car. I was almost 50. All these years I was working. Now you have somebody with 35 or 36, 37, 40 years, has never worked, and is driving a latest...
You are almost 50, meaning your life did not start at 40, as they say.
No, my life didn't start at 40. You know, Caesar, I have dedicated my life to doing things that I want to do. And if you want to achieve anything, there is work and discipline behind it. There's no any discipline. Work has got something to do with your thinking capacity and using the capacities that are outside there. And this is what I've done. And for me, since I'm telling you the truth, for me to take money to go and buy a brand new car from the what, I was around 50, almost 50 years old. All this time I was buying second-hand cars and things. I was fine. Okay, but second-hand cars, I couldn't. Now you have somebody, he gets employment today and he earns 15 or 30,000 kwacha, and he goes and buys a car which is $200,000. Today, perhaps 4 million. I've seen these ministers. Where do they get the money? Can't really the president ask to say, hey, wait a minute, come and sit here. My friend, what are you doing? Kaunda used to do that. They have got houses. You know, even pamene muyenda panja paja kuti uende patala paja. Ponse wanafaka matowels. Yangani ngani. Where does the money come from? It's people's money. These people, you don't even need to look for them. They are there. Even a small baby sees them. These people, they belong in bars. They belong in jail because they are thieves. And this is what we are going to do. There will be zero tolerance. If my MP or my minister, tomorrow he comes and parks in front of the parliament, he parks a BMW that costs $150,000, we'll ask him, where did you get the money from? Why didn't you buy a BMW when you were campaigning for the past, when you were a member of our party for the past 5 years or 10 years? All of a sudden, These are things you can see. And mind you, Caesar, whether you want to join Narep to do or not, I will tell you guys outside there, hear me. Anybody who is going to be an MP in Narep is going to drive a Toyota Corolla. If not brand new, even a second hand costing 30, 40,000, so that you can go and make the road to reach your village. Because now they can't even make a road because they've got those things. Wakabwera kuja babawona monga ni ndiye mulungu wankara pansi bagwada bamvinira, and they feel they are small gods. They are not. They are servants of the people. We in Narep, we are going to work for the people. I'm driving this car that I'm driving today. I tell my people I don't need to buy this car when I'm in State House. I don't need to. I can afford it myself. When I go there, I must sacrifice. That's why I say vision, principle, integrity, and sense of sacrifice. When I go there, I must sacrifice. I have my food now. I have my house or my houses now. I have everything perhaps that I need now. When I go there, I will not have everything. I will not have everything. I have to work. And this is what you can't see in this government. Perhaps in governments. These are recycled politicians who are looking for how can they amass wealthy, public wealthy.
Did you belong to any political party during your youthful days, President Nyrenda?
No. When I was entering the university, I was a fanatic of those Che Guevara, Walter, socialism, communism. Later did I know that there's something here. I did a course in communism and socialism, so I know what it is. I said, no. This is not what it is. People must be rewarded according to what they put in.
If you were not in Narep, which party would you have loved to associate yourself?
There isn't any party. There was only one party which was there, which we had created with friends, which was Muntu Party, which never came up. The parties which are there, in fact, let me tell you, the parties which are there, even the big two, they are all failures. People are telling me to say, oh, Steve, you are attacking also your opposition party. I'll tell you, the two parties which are big in this country now is UPND and PF. They are all failures. They are all failures. They are, both of them, in one way or another, they have been governing for the past 10 years. Governing for me is the resources where you are. If I'm running a council, in that council, I've got land, I've got buildings, and so on and so on. I must govern them nicely and show the people to say this council is done properly. There's no council today in this country where you can go see to say people have done. That's why I say they are all recycled politicians. They have got no vision. They don't have. The whole of half of Zambia is being run by UPND. The total Zambia is run by PF. But people are suffering everywhere where you go. They have land, they have water, they have whatever. Why can't I develop? Where I am, I've got my piece of land. Yeah? I've got perhaps 20 hectares. And if you come in these 20 hectares, I've transformed it into something that is employing people. Now, this guy who is owning the whole of a province, why can't he develop that province to make sure I can show? It's not only the land. The land is theirs. That's where there is everything. I should not cry to say, I'll come and fix Zambia when it's 2021. That is wrong. I will say anyone who is not providing proper leadership, whether you are in the government or outside the government, I will talk. Because we saw it. We saw it in 2011. We thought that when PF comes to power, things are going to become better. When PF took over, it was the West. Replace the incumbent with visionary leadership. Leadership that will show you to say, when we take over, these are the things. As we fix it now, we don't wait until when we are put
in the days of the reign of President Kaunda and UNIP, we Zambians never heard so much about corruption because there was a leadership code in place. But after the reintroduction of plural politics, the elites have been accused of plundering the economy as well as misrule. You have spoken for a fraction too long, saying that you will change things. But if people come and see blemishes in you, what will you tell them?
Well, Caesar, I'm not an angel. I'm not. Everybody has got mistakes in what we are doing. It's like this. Nikudia nsima, yeah? I'm eating. Nansuna nsima natengana ndio. As I want to put it in my pocket, in my mouth, ya guapans. It's a mistake, right? But my aim was to eat. So as you are doing things, in short, as you are doing things, you may encounter mistakes being done. Those are failures. Now, if you encounter a mistake, the worst thing, which I would call a failure, is not to correct it. And that's where the problem is. For these guys, whether it's PF or MMD or whoever, they can make mistakes. If you see this is a mistake and people are telling you and you don't correct it, then you are not a leader. So, even us, when we take over, we will make mistakes. But our powerful leadership will be to correct those mistakes and march on, go forward. When a child is standing up, starts walking,
you will make mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes.
You will be called corrupt.
Look, they are deliberate.
We want to be very open here, President Nyrenda, because this I've given you an example of what has happened to successive
you see,
governments.
Yes,
they have been called names.
Yes.
Why will your government not be called names?
You have 156 MPs, right? You have all those 156 MPs, and if 2 or 3 of your MPs do something that you know is wrong or they have stolen and things like that, and you leave them, that is call us any name that you want to call. But if we know that these people have made something that is wrong, we will act on them immediately. And that is what is leadership. And that's the difference with us. As we are not going to tolerate any sort of corruption. Now, you said that when Kaunda or during UNIP there was no corruption. That's not true.
No, I didn't say there was no corruption. Maybe you didn't get me right. I said we never used to hear, or people never used to hear so much about corruption.
I want to tell you that one thing that prompted me to join politics when I was at the university was the corruption that I faced. The corruption, in fact, I'll tell you to say, during UNIP, there was a lot of ghost students all over the world, even University of Zambia. People who were manning all those bursaries and things like that, they were creating students which were not there and taking the money. That I know because I was a student and I was a leader in the students' union. That's how I got to know. That's what prompted me to say, look, you must be part and parcel and make sure you clear these things. There was corruption, but it became worse and worse, worse and worse. When unfortunately President Chiluba took over, it became worse. It became a money-motivated country. Running a money-motivated country is very, very difficult. Where we are right up now, Zambia is a money-motivated country. And this was created by MMT and is gone worse by PF. That will change. We will install values. Values that depend on hard work, that depend on principles, that depend on integrity, and also sacrifice.
Everybody wants to see Zambia flourish economically.
Yes.
In policies. On what premise will Narep now, restructure this country's economy and the policies?
What do you mean when you say what premises?
What are you going to use? What criteria?
What we are going to do?
Yes.
I want to give you a very practical example. One very practical example. I will take an existing, I have given this example before, but the listenership is different. We have like what we have called down road along the Lake Kariba. It is not very much near to Lake Kariba, very far anyway, for whichever reasons. This road right up now, you will see perhaps 2 or 3 cars. 2 or 3 cars. It's not being used at all. It's a white horse. or white elephant, as they say. Now, what we will do ourselves, along that road, which is already accessible and so on and so on, we create 500 production areas, and we take 500 young Zambians, youth, and give them that, put productive developed technologies, like you have got a center where the machinery is, they can borrow. A center where teachers, people who can give skills are. So then tell them what to do. You say, look, you produce this, you produce beef, you produce pork, you produce maize, you produce the canning of mangoes, you put them along there. There are 500. Out of that 500, you will need people, you need a bricklayer, you need architect, you need doctors, you need teachers, you will need people to make bread, you will need groceries. You have seen that from the 500, I will have a multiply effect of perhaps 4. From 500, I'm going to have 2,000 youth being employed there. You will need lawyers, because those, you can't say 500 people as Ambolimbira and whatever. They will need to make contracts and so on and so on. So you have got a multiplier effect. That road alone can absorb 2,000 youth. And that's not the only road. So in every district, do the same. How many people are you going to have? Let me say, I do the same in 100 districts. From 2,000 times 100, I'm having 200,000 absorbed just like that. This is a practical example, and we will do it. It is already written in every district, and I can tell you, we are talking about over 7 billion, about 7.8 billion.
For now, it's theoretical, because we are not yet there.
You know, Caesar, I'll tell you this. This is where the problem is with our governance system today. One day, I heard the president, the Republican president, I don't mention name, I don't know what his name is, but I heard the Republican president saying, take 30 million and give it to the youth, the musicians. That is visionless. What is that 30 million going to do? What I would do in that case, I would say, look, how much is it going to cost for me to build studios for musicians in every district? That will be 116 or 118 studios. How much does one studio cost? One studio costs 10,000, right? Complete set, mwafaka, $10,000. So $10,000 and 10,000 kwacha. Now that 10,000 kwacha multiply by 100 or approximately 100. It will come to how much? $1 million, right? Yes, it's $1 million. So 1 million kwacha can make me 100 studios in a studio in each district. And that studio in each district absorbs, say, 200 people. So I can multiply again 200 times those 100. I have 20,000 youth that have been employed. That is the vision. But if I'm going to say, take 30 million, give it to people, what is that 30 million? I've just talked about 1 million. And this example I'm talking about is practical, because I know how much a simple studio can cost. It's practical. With 1 million kwacha, I can make 100 studios all around. This is practical. But this president, he says, take 30 million, give it to the youth. Now, I don't know whether that 30 million has been given and so. And what are we going to have from that 30 million? Nothing. It's going to go into fighting, what and what, perhaps leisure and so on and so on. That is not vision. That's the difference. Where you are saying that what I'm talking about is practical, no. Is theoretical, no. Caesar, if you know what type of a person I am, let me sell myself here. I'm a person, I do what I say is sin. Everybody who has worked with me, they will tell you. In all studios, even here, there's one young man here or young man here. They will tell you this is what this man is. What he says is what happens. If I'm going to say a house will happen here, it will happen. We are going to build a machine there, it will be done. When I was starting the studio, the people used to laugh at me. to say, look, do you think you can make a television station? I said, yes, it will happen. And it happened. When I started the cinema, I was invited to join the cinema. People used to tell me to say, no. Let's get names like Stekeniko. We are franchise. We get what Silverbed. Basically, the cinemas were called Silverbed before I came in. I said, no, Silverbed is Nigerian. Why not Zambian? And push it out. So I said, our cinemas, they are going to be Fresh View cinemas, and we will build them ourselves. What I did, Caesar, with the young Zambians, we built them, and you saw that at Manda Hill, we had the state-of-the-art cinemas, beating every foreign cinema. What happened when the South Africans saw that? They came and jeopardized us. They said, no, you can't, because they saw we were potential Zambian company, and our government, competition committee, and so on and so on, they allowed it to happen. This is where the problem is. Let Zambians take the wealth in their own hands. But I don't talk about that most of the times. I just see. This is what is happening. Caesar, what I say is not theoretical. This is what I'm saying when we take over. I believe you, Caesar, within the first 2-3 years, these streets that you are seeing with youth, they will be empty. There will be a problem of looking for labor in Lusaka, because all these people will be out. You will be looking, can you come and do piece work? You will not find young people to do piece work for you, because we will give them what to do. We will educate them, do them give them skills, and give them what to do. The country is wide. It has got everything for a Zambian. I'll start with Mr. Tumero, who talks about the employment. He says the employment in Zambia is between 30 to 100,000. I want to correct you, Mr. Tumero, that unemployment in Zambia is over millions. It's millions of people who have no jobs. It's not about 100,000. So you cannot compare our unemployment to any other country. Look at Zambia the way it is. Mr. Tumero, where you are there, you agree with me. Look at, I don't know whether you are still in bed or you're outside, but if you're outside, look at what you are wearing from your head up to down. You tell me that whatever you are wearing, whether there's one little thing that has been made in Zambia, you have got a shirt with buttons, with perhaps a tie. Every little thing that you are putting on is made outside. It's a shock. Even during mango time, I went to ShopRite to find mango from South Africa and no mango from Zambia in ShopRite. So what we are saying ourselves, by taking this economy in our own hands, building these factories, and so on and so on. I've given you a practical example. What I talked about the 500 people, I multiply them by 4 there. I've given you that. That is a very real doable thing. And if you take 13 or 20 million people in Zambia, compared to the land that we have and things that we need to produce, is nothing at all. Malawi is perhaps 5 times or 6 times smaller than Zambia. Population-wise, we are the same. But look, the Malawi GDP and the Malawi stuff, they seem to be better than us. Are we not ashamed of that? We should be. We have enough land. And by the way, Mr. Tumero, everything that you see, you touch, you want, everything comes from land. Whether it's a car, whether it's whether it's plastic, everything comes from land. And that's where we need to create employment. What I'm talking about, Mr. Tumero, Zambia has got a very small population. Right up now, every Zambian must be employed, must choose where to be employed. The problem is that we are not producing, we are getting all these things from outside. We are giving employment to Chinese, to South Africans, to Lebanese, to Europeans. That's what we are doing. Number 2, I can only say thank you very much, Mr. Timbaland. Let's work together, let's collaborate and develop this country. Zambia is for Zambians, and only us can do it. The infrastructure, Mr. Tembo, first of all, thank you very much. You said something good about what we are doing in Narep. infrastructure. I want to start with this little thing. You do not go to the bank to borrow money to put it in something that is not going to give you profitability at that particular time. You go to the bank, put it in productive transactions or productive activities. Those productive activities, they will create a profit, and that profit is what you eat, is what you build infrastructure now, and so on and so on. What our government did, they went and borrowed the money, put the infrastructure. Now, even that infrastructure, let me say yes. You have put infrastructure, I agree, it's development. But where have you put those infrastructure? Do you think really the priority of putting the flyover bridges in Lusaka beats the priority of making a small village, a small bridge for a guy who is in Shangombo? He just wants to go over and produce his own maize that he can feed and reduce the problem that you have now of hunger in the country. There are villages where you will not see a simple bridge to cross over to your fields. When the rains come, they find you are over the other side. You have to sleep there or stay there for days until the river goes down again. You can cross. Those are misplaced priorities. That's what we are saying. They're talking about decongestion in Lusaka. In Lusaka, decongestion can only be brought very shortly without these flyover bridges. For example, if you are going to empower young people that are going to open a company that is going to run school buses, that means the people, if there are 100 houses within that area, 100 vehicles are on the road that particular time, taking children to school, that will stop, because all those 100 children, they will go in 1 or 2 buses. You have decongested. Decongestion is mostly because you've got all these vehicles that are on the road. There are other ways of doing it. In other countries, they have said, okay, we can't build these roads. We are going to say people who are N registration numbers from N up to whatever, N up to H, will drive on this day, this on this day. Then you park those cars. It's there in East Africa, in West Africa, even in Europe, it's being done. But because these people have seen that's a better way of saving money than you go and put money in something that you don't need and you don't even have that money. Corruption. Mr. Tembo is saying allegations. Mr. Tembo, I will want to give you this an example. The executive does appoint agents to work with. Now, an executive appoints the ACC as an agent to investigate on these things. The same executive appoints a minister. Both people are appointed. And before the other agent can probe on another, they go back to the executive to say, we have seen this thing. And the executive says, go ahead. Now, the ACC, which is an agent of the executive, does probe, spends all of the years, and they said, sir, Your Excellency, this person, we have found him guilty. We are arresting him. The arrest goes through. And then you, the executive, you have appointed the same 2 people. You believe in the same 2 people, but you are saying, okay, all the same, let him stay in office. At that particular time that the gentleman stays in the office, he will destroy all the evidence. He will make sure that he goes and even corrupts even more people, because he's got the capacity to do that. This is what I'm saying, zero tolerance. The executive should not allow that particular person to stay in office. That particular person must never be given bail, must be put somewhere until everything has been done. They can quicken this process if they want. They can quicken it. Let it be done within a month. Then the person can be free. But at that particular time, this person must be arrested. And that's what I mean, Mr. Tembo. I believe that I've answered your question.
right?
You see, I'll fuse Elvis and the film one together. You know, Elvis, it's fine. I mean, I would be surprised if PF did not have sympathizers. You need to put your your unemployment information a bit. You need to update it. We are not comparing with any other country. We set our own goals. Tiri na vana vathu muno muchalo. Avo vana vathu vamene tifunika kuvapangira ntchito. I'm not concerned about people in Brazil and the people. That's not my sake of influence. Ine nifuna vana vanga muzambia vankale na ntchito. What you know, olo pamene mwankalapo mwa Evis muziva ati every year we've got thousands and thousands of students leaving the university and there's no employment. That is a problem. And the reason, but it's because we are not producing. We don't have factories to absorb these people. We can't have factories. We are saying we will absorb all these people, and mark this word Mr. Avis muzabwera ku office kwanga apo ninshimanje tili mu government muzabwera kuniuza ati vamene nzokamba wenivazoona. It is very easy for us to make sure that all the young people of Zambia are employed. Around Zambia, we have got over 200 million people. If I look at Mozambique, I look at Congo, Malawi, and so on and so on. These people, is a market for us. If we forecast very, very clearly what we can produce for Congo, what we can produce for Namibia, and so on and so on, our people here will be producing, not receiving from South Africa, producing and selling to these people. That's how we are going to create even all this employment I'm talking about. Vafilimoni, nzoona, this country ilibe vision. Kupalasi paka ina wakule sana osakamba international relations ine nzavibwe za mofuti. You cannot do the economy alone. I say Zambians will produce, only Zambians will develop Zambia. That's what I say. But that working with others from outside on a prosperous agreement is there. If I'm going to borrow money from outside, I must have credibility. Our leadership today, the current leadership, has got no credibility to borrow money because of the corruption and because the way they are running. And that's perhaps what you must have the credibility to be to have so that you can be given a credit facility. As where we are, the IMF has put it very clearly to say Zambia cannot be given any trust, no money, because they don't have credibility. They need to put the house in order. You see, now where are we? We cannot pay for the things that we put in the budget. We can't pay the civil service, and so on and so on. Because they don't have a vision. Truly speaking, they have no vision. The Vamlenga, thank you for that part. And you said the other things about it. Was about
he was talking about COVID-19 tests and other things regarding health, where he says X-ray now is
yes. Yes, you know Vamlenga. The problem. I go back again to leadership. All starts with the leadership and all ends with the leadership. The leadership needs to have a vision to say apa nilina vana vatatu nikankana na vana 10 nizafunika na vintu vaso. So you work towards it. Problems may come. Now you see that now, because these guys they don't have where to touch. What do? Push up the prices. The people who are suffering ni vantu pamene vali bendarama. They themselves, 10 kwacha is not a problem, 50 kwacha is not a problem, even 500 kwacha is not a problem. They are looking at themselves. They don't need to look at themselves. That's what I call sacrifice and integrity. Look at the people that you promised I'm going to lead you. What is this that the people are enjoying or are suffering or are going through? If I see that these people have got this problem, the visionary leadership will provide a solution. Ndiye vichafanana kamba that leader must have in economy, must have the agents which will help it to distribute the goods and services all over the country, even kakona ka Zambia, wena wafikako. Zambia is not Lusaka. Zambia is not Copper Belt. Zambia is not a line of rail. When you move out of Lusaka and line of rail, Copper Belt, uzaona kuona bantu monga sima Zambians. Ukawaona maone wavalira, vamene wakumwa, what and what. They are like people who have dropped from another planet. The poverty that is there. Ungavale na menso sufuna na kulanga, maene pitase na kambira. Ukavula menso mno mcharo. It is so bad. And this is because of the leadership. When I will put it again back. I personally, Caesar, I went to school from grade 1 up to the university. I never paid anything. The government paid. Then ilero nakula nafika pano pamene nidi nisikamba out no, we can't provide free education. That's a selfishness. Everybody who is in my age, inclusive of the Republican president, he went to school for free from grade 1 up to university. Why should he say now, in a Nyrenda for free, you will repeat it? What type of a parent is he? Then the leadership should see, to say, okay, we were 3.5 million in 1964. When it comes to 1920, the vision 1920, 1921, the vision should tell you, you are going to be 21 million, 20 million. What is this? How am I going to give the same services, if not more, to the people when I'm 21 million? That is the vision. A leader must see years before, ahead of everybody else. A leader must see, already as we are talking now, a leader must see how Zambia is going to be in 2030. And that's what we are doing us at Narep. We are seeing what is it going to be like in 2030. These guys don't have even a vision for tomorrow. This is what it is. So they don't see what will happen, hence us suffering. But I'm not saying that there's nothing that they are doing. They are doing something. I woke up today. I'm in a free country. There's no fighting and things like that. I'm free. I can come here and talk. All this is also pattern of leadership. They've done it. It's working. Yeah? But now, once this is done, everything is there. What are the people, the Zambians themselves, enjoying? Zambians in Zambia, they are not enjoying anything in terms of wealthy. The people who are enjoying in this country, they are foreigners. They are the people who have got all these things and so on and so on. And the so-called Zambian Indian community. I will not finish my talk without touching this type of community. Zambian Indian community, as it is now, they are a danger to the Zambian economy. Us at Narep, we are going to change it. Because if you go to Kamwara here, go to town center, go to any district in Zambia, which was there in 1964, most of those buildings are owned by the Zambian Indian community. If you look at those buildings, the way they were in 1964, that's the way they are today. Ugly. They are not developing them, but they are taking the money. Where are they taking the money to? They are taking the money to UK, India, to Canada. They are not Zambians per se. They are Zambians on paper. But inside, they are not Zambians. And me, when we take over, we will tell them, you guys, you are Zambians. You call yourselves Zambians. This is how we want Zambia to look like. This is how we want Kamwala to look like. We are giving you 1 year, 2 years to change this. The town center cannot look like that. It's an ugly, it's a thorn in the eye. Vinsimbi all over. They don't want to develop it, but they are getting money in dollars every day. That is criminal. So that's why I'm saying pure Zambian, indigenous Zambian, a Zambian who thinks this is his country, he must literally protect it and treat it well. He will develop this country. The other day,
you are a believer in locally produced goods and services.
Yes.
And you are behind Fresh View Cinemas.
Yes.
Is any local production showing on your screens?
Caesar, you will know that I've done quite a number of productions. I've done the Vanguard, a lot of productions. And those productions, they do give jobs to the local community. But there is a trend of the business. We have a certain percentage, we have started somewhere. We are doing. And Caesar, I will tell you this. Everybody outside there, you are now today enjoying Zambezi Magic on GoTV, on DSTV. Who is behind the production of the human capacity? Everybody who is producing or let me say perhaps everybody will be far-fetched. 90% of the human capacity in Zambezi Magic, name it Mpali, what, and so on, it has gone through these hands of Movie TV. If you talk, there's a young man, Frank Sibuku, who produces Mpali, what, and all these things. This is a man who came to me. He did not know how a camera looks like. He did not know how a microphone looks like. He came to me to say, Mr. Nyrenda, I want to be part and parcel with you. He was a young man from school. I took him. We trained him. And gave him everything to his exposure. Today, he's producing Mpali, whatever you can name them. All these things that you are enjoying on Zambezi Magic. That is brain drain. Brain drain. Because the money that those guys are getting is going out to Mauritius, is going to South Africa. Now, all these people, they have gone through Movie TV. Is that not the capacity building? It is. When I come here, Caesar, I'm seeing these young people. When I go to ZNBC, a certain percentage of ZNBC, 40-50% of people working at ZNBC, they have gone through us. We have built capacity, and I'm very, very happy. That's what I'm talking about. So now show me one of my competitors, including of the incumbent, that, okay, Mr. Nyrenda, your track record looks like that. Your competitor track record looks like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm saying I'm a better candidate. I'm the candidate who can transform this country into something else.
You are a better candidate, not a best candidate.
Well, I want to tell you that I'm the best.
You said you are better just a few seconds ago.
Caesar, nione kama ngani nemzungwini. And that's why there's a lot of confusion. You want to complicate people with Nachizunguchan. You would think that somebody, by the way, I'm not an English trained, I'm a German trained. So I speak German. And unfortunately, Zambia doesn't speak German. But this is another brain intoxicating of the brain. Caesar, when you come down here, you start rolling your English, whatever. You think that person is intelligent. No. Muntu jana amena alipaja ane kamba chinyanja mwaneni kambira pano. So, azaku dabwisa. And Caesar nzaku uzanivi. Things, if vintu famine na panga vonse, my buildings amena na panga vonse, I've made it with the people who have never gone to the college. We have sat down. That's what I call vision. I explain my ideas to these people. They are intelligent enough to take those ideas and transform them. By the way, the same Frank Sibuku that I'm talking about, a very popular man, is successful. I'm so happy when I go to bed and I wake up, because that is contribution to the economy. Frank Sibuku has never gone to the college. The college has been Movie TV. Myself, Mr. Piri there, and many other people who have been at Movie TV. That's how you grow the country.
So it means
you don't grow the country by growing thugs who go in the markets, beating people, getting land from the people, and so on and so on. That's what
under the Stephen Nyrenda and Narep government, formal education or tertiary education will be of no value. Is that right? You just believe in informal trainings of
no. Caesar, I said it when I started. I said that the education system we have in Zambia is going to change. I said it. how we are going to change. We are going to make sure that as people reach 13, we teach them what to do. If Frank, as Frank was, if Frank, when he was 13, he entered what he loved to do, by the time he leaves the school, he was going to be an expert.
That's what I mean. It will be a Zambia with very few degree holders,
No.
very few diploma holders, because you are, from what you are telling us, it's like you don't have any belief in tertiary, formal tertiary education.
No, you have summed it wrongly, Caesar.
What is the correct?
I am saying, kapena nkambe chinyanja mumvere. Ngati nienda ku school, nienera pamene nipunzira kuja ku school, nipunzira also how to live around my environment. My environment, it may be that people there, they do fishery, they do all these things, and so ngati nkala kumanzi. Ngati nikulima, where there are the people there, I should practically learn from school how to grow maize, how to grow. Do you know that there are a lot of people who cannot even grow maize? A lot of young people, they can't put a seed in the soil. If I live where there is timber, like Western Province or Northwestern, I must know how to handle timber and so on and so on. So you deliberately create these things in schools. They are part and parcel of learning. Not at nipunzira road. No. Wenda ku school, ulina tertiary education, but you have got this practical education. It will be infused inside. Kwa kuti ukasiriza, ngati it's not everybody, Caesar, who should have degrees. It's not everybody who should go to the university. There are a lot of the people who have done grade 12, they find, they start creating employment, and they employ others even. That's how it should be.
Your message to Zambians as we wind up the program on COVID-19.
First of all, Zambians, believe in yourself. Number one, Zambia is for Zambians. Only us Zambians will develop. You know, ngati wakuzanda ati ma Chinese wazabwera kuchita hivi what and what, they are lying to you. Everything that a Chinese can do, we can do it here. Everything that a foreigner can do, we'll do it ourselves. And they should work for us, not us working for them. The foreigners who come here should work for us. The party that will take you up there and realize all these good things is Narep and its other people. We are going to make sure that we team together with the people that we have vision together. The other parties will team together with Narep together, provide the most powerful leadership that is going to take Zambia up from 2021. Make sure that you look for this group, you look for this team, and you vote Narep, and you will see what will happen in this country.
Message on COVID-19.
It's sad, it's cold, and we don't have the resources. Right up now, when I calculate from the figures that we are getting, if every time we measure 1,200 come out 1,200, it's clear. It's 20% of this of us, we have it, and it's growing. Let's please take care of ourselves. If you can stay home, stay home. If you want to go somewhere, do that thing and go on a safe place. There may be other lives that we are losing every day that we don't know because we don't have the capacity to measure and things like that. Let's keep ourselves. Your life is very important. Every Zambian life is very important for this country.
President Steve Nyrenda, thank you so much for finding time to be on this program.
Zambia is for Zambians. Only Zambians will develop Zambia. Thank you very much, listeners. Thank you, Caesar.
Right, and this